Anybody like to be added to the speakers list now? This is opening statements. Okay, the United States will go first. Please raise your placards if you are interested in being added to the speakers list. Okay.
Put it down.
France, please hold them up. Okay, Myanmar.
Well, when you want to like give a certain country like more time to speak, you can do that, right?
Yes, that's correct. So China, okay, and then Australia, okay, Ireland, Russia. I've already put you up. Okay, and then Vietnam. Okay, thank you. All right. So how this works, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, how come Vietnam is not here? Okay, and Daily. All right. List. Okay, Vietnam. All right, how this works, ladies and gentlemen, is that each country that is on the primary speakers list will receive 2 minutes of time. If you do not speak, you may choose to pass on your time, and I will click next, or you may yield remaining time to another delegate that you choose to give this time to. Okay, this can be a very powerful tool for identifying who your allies are or who your enemies are in the Security Council. Okay? All right, we will begin with the United States. United States, please stand. All right, and go ahead.
All right. Before proceeding, I, as a delegate of the United States, would like to quickly say that the UN's goal, above all, should be to keep peace and prosperity amongst the world nations, and that this particular issue should be no different. That said, the official position of the United States of America is that the People's Republic of China does not hold claim over the South China Sea. And while the United States understands China's desire to continue using its historical 9-dash line border, it must remind China that no other country recognizes the 9-dash line border, that China's 9-dash line has no specific coordinates, so there's no way to know where it begins or ends, and that China had already agreed to the UNCLOS line, not just in 1982 when it was first written and ratified, but also in 1994 when it was revised and re-ratified. But once again, that said, when it comes to issues such as this, there must be some give and pull. The United States believes that a revised 9-dash line could be negotiating, allowing China to hold some claim over the islands of the South China Sea. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. Is there a particular country you would like to yield your time to?
I think that I could give it to France.
France is over here.
UK.
Okay.
All these European countries look the same to me, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Wow. All right. So the United Nations.
Why are you having a problem?
Okay. Order. Okay. So all right. The United States will yield the rest of this time to the United Kingdom. You may go.
Do I have to use the time now?
You do not. You must use the time now.
Okay. Okay. And it adds to the time I already have, right?
Yes, because you're already in the speakers list. Okay. Please stand.
Do I go over it? Okay. Okay. So the United Kingdom also agrees with the United States, China's claim to the 9-dash line. So we're not gonna allow that to happen, but we are willing to work with China. I have a proposal. The proposal is the 9-dash line is going to be revised. So currently, where you see the pink, it's international waters. Currently, right now, this is China's territory. That's how it is currently. So what we're going to do is give this piece of international waters and islands to China, and we're going to leave every country's economic zone untouched. So every country can still conduct their normal business. And it's currently international, so it won't affect you. But we'll still have this international area of waters. But you see this line here? That is a demilitarized zone. So you cannot
Time. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we will head to the next person on the list. Okay. France, you have 2 minutes to speak. You are recognized by the.
Good morning. France is interested in promoting economic development in Southeastern Asian countries and Indo-Pacific regions and wants to support the total sovereignty held by these countries as well. As a heavy economic and military presence in the South China Sea, and as a long-standing partner to the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia, we fully support UNCLOS as a final legal standard for conflicts addressing sovereignty and do not choose to recognize China's 9-dash line as a rightful claim due to UNCLOS and the exclusive economic freedoms and rights held by each South Asian country's ocean territory. I choose to yield my time to... Can it be someone already on the speakers list?
Yes.
Russian Federation.
Okay. All right. So France has yielded their time to the Russian Federation. Once again, if you are yielded to, you may choose to yield the time back to the committee chair, which is me, which means that you'll pass. Okay, so you can pass on your time. All righty. Russia, you have the rest of this time to use.
Okay. Good morning. The Russian Federation is interested in the well-being of all countries in the South China Sea. As being one of the countries with strong economic and military presence in the South China Sea, we fully support whichever conclusion the United Nations members make. However, if the situation were to arise, the Russian Federation would align itself in China's interests. The Russian Federation is for the time being neutral with China's claim that the 9-dash line is rightfully claimed by China to the South China Sea. We do believe the UNCLOS is the final legal standard for addressing conflicts of severity in the regions. However, the Russian Federation, also believe that China has a right to claim the South China Sea as theirs due to the historical and cultural importance. So we are willing to negotiate.
Okay.
I yield my time
Okay.
to China.
Okay. So the rest of this time is yielded to China. China, you may choose to use this time for your opening statement, or you may yield it back to the chair. Yeah, you can give it back to me, as in like you don't want to speak right now. You can give it back.
Y'all want to guess where those glasses were made?
Okay. China. So China has yielded back that time to the chair. So we will move to the next person in the list. Okay, Republic of Myanmar, or yes, you are recognized.
Okay, hold on, I think that. The Republic of Myanmar has allied with China, and I really can't have much of a position here, but I wish to say that I'm going to be siding with China during this entire thing. I can't really do much because right now my people are in the civil war that has been happening since 1948. And I used to wish the rest of my time to someone.
Okay. So once again, if you have extra time, you may yield it to another country, or you may give it back to the chair, which is me. Which means that you don't give it to anybody, you just give it back to me.
Then I used to wield my hand.
Okay, so Myanmar chooses to yield their time back to the chair. Russia, you are next on the speakers list. So you yield your time? Okay, so we will move to the next. Okay, Republic of the Philippines, you are recognized to speak. You may begin.
It's always been apparent that the Philippines has been a historical presence in the South China Sea. The Philippines has always been an active country on the South China Sea from trade to maritime explorations, and it's been made very clear that the Philippines has the right to use the resources substantially present without having such an imminent force like China to blockade this area. Article 150 on the UNCLOS determines the gathering of resources on the area shall be carried out in a manner that fosters healthy development of the world economy and balanced growth for international trade. However, China's act to take that area to foster materials primarily for themselves would not do any of the things listed and would instead create a higher economy for China, unbalancing the economy and ruining many others. If UNCLOS has been accepted as the legal standard for international disputes by about 40 million other states and has worked well to keep peace and balance in the international waters, the real problem is other states disregarding the legal standard and doing as they please, despite the laws put forth. We believe UNCLOS is not a problem and should be kept the same. Nonetheless, upgrades need to be made to enforce these standards and make sure UNCLOS is active in times of dispute.
Okay. All right. So are you yielding it back to the chair? Okay. Thank you. All right, China. Your 2 minutes begins now. You are recognized.
The People's Republic of China believes that all the islands, ports, and all the surrounding waters of the Xisha, Nansha, Zongsha, and Dongsha archipelago fall under the jurisdiction of the Chinese Republic. The geographical extent of the area claimed by China can be represented by the 9-dash line that marks what island China claims in the South China Sea. While China does not claim the entire space within the lines, it does claim the islands inside it as its territory. The Republic of China claims the territories in the South China Sea according to the country's historic rights, as we have exercised sovereignty over them for over 2,000 years. I use my time.
Yield to the chair. Do you yield it to somebody else, or do you yield it to the
I
chair?
yield it to India.
Okay, so time from China's speaking point has been yielded to India. India, you may choose to take it or yield it back to the chair as you wish.
I yield it to Stone.
Okay, we can't play that game of like moving it to like, you have to either choose to give it, to take it or yield it back to them.
Oh, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, alright, so, India chooses not to use their time and they are yielding it back to the chair. Alright, the Commonwealth of Australia, you are recognized to speak.
The Commonwealth of Australia agrees with the claim from America, United Kingdom, and France. And we wish to end our time. To the United Kingdom.
Okay, so, time from the Commonwealth of Australia has been yielded to the United Kingdom. So United Kingdom, you have the rest of this time to speak as you desire. Time has been yielded to you.
Okay, so I just come up with another revision. As I heard that China
just wanted only to use the islands region, we are going to reduce their portion of the seats in this area.
Hi, I need JC Valdez to the front desk with all her stuff, please.
Malena, they're in 220. They're in my classroom.
LOL. Okay, thank you.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So we're thinking about leaving China's only these islands because that's what they wanted, but they still have to leave it demilitarized. That's because we don't want to have any conflict. I yield my time.
Okay. All right. So time has been yielded back to the chair. Okay. Ireland, you have your time to speak.
So, the Republic of Ireland has upheld their economic and social connections with the seas that surround it. With the United States and the United Kingdom being our biggest trade partners, the Republic of Ireland stands by using international law to create a peaceful solution. The South conflict has been continuing for about 5 years, and we believe that the 9-dash line does not constitute a rightful claim by China. The UNCLOS protects sovereignty by not allowing states to claim a part of an area or resources, all rights, and the resources are used as a whole. So, I yield my time.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Finally, on the speakers list, if you would like to be added, we have about 8 minutes left in the opening speaking period. If you would like to be added to the speakers list, you may by raising your placards, please. Okay. All right. Vietnam, you may speak.
Vietnam has been able to sustain itself for hundreds of years now because of several main resources, all revolving around one place, the ocean, with access to fishing, trade routes, oil, and gas mining. These are just a few of the many reasons why Vietnam needs access to the South China Sea. The 9-dash line is not a legitimate claim to these waters. This line created has no legal basis. China has no historical rights to these waters. Vietnam has rights to the parcels and sporadic islands dating back to the 17th century, and there are documents to prove it. There are route maps from 1686 that prove that Vietnam has territorial control of these islands. Vietnamese fishermen that try to fish on their own land are arrested and harassed by Chinese troops if they get anywhere near the islands. In 2014, China planted an oil rig inside of Vietnam's economic zone. Vietnam was not aware of the matter until after the fact. Another oil and gas source at stake is the Vietnamese continental shelf, as it falls right by the 9-dash line. China states that all the oil and gas to be claimed is theirs, although UNCLOS argues otherwise. Vietnam chooses to continue to see the United Nations Convention on the Sea, Law of the Sea, as the last step in legal complications. UNCLOS has been a supporter of Vietnam's maritime legal system in the past and has full trust that they are able to continue upholding the highest standard of law in this region.
Do you yield your time?
Yes.
Back to the chair.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Very good. Okay. So next we have Mexico. You may speak.
Mexico agrees with the UNCLOS being the final legal standard addressing the conflicts of sovereignty in the region, because we believe that the UNCLOS does have the final say, and China did also agree to the UNCLOS when it was first written. So we don't believe that the 9-dash line is valid, and it is non-constituent. My computer just died. And I also moved my time.
Okay, thank you. All right, team. Very good. All right, Estonia.
Estonia devotes itself as a member of the UN Security Council by honoring their role in maintaining peace and safety in crisis zones throughout West Germany, while counteracting terrorism and immigration. Estonia lays their foundation and principles on the international humanitarian law, inflows, rule of law, and human rights in general. Therefore, we stand with our ally, the U.S., in not agreeing with the 9-dash line that China claimed sovereignty over in that I use my temperature.
Okay. All right. So as a function of the committee chair, I do provide this time to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in order to speak on your position.
As a small country of merely 110,000 residents, we can hardly do anything about this other than provide support. St. Vincent and the Grenadines chooses to stand by Taiwan and aid them in whatever position they may take. Our relationship with Taiwan is very important for the benefit of our people, and we simply cannot tear it apart. We choose to aid Taiwan in upholding the freedom of navigation in the South China Sea, while also keeping true to values of peace, humanitarianism, ecological conservation, and sustainable development. I yield my time.
Thank you very much.
To India.
Okay, to India. Okay,
Yes.
so that time will be yielded to India. India, you do have your opportunity to speak. Go ahead.
Okay. India chooses to not be a direct party in the South China Sea dispute because we're going to remain neutral and choose to support America. We choose to support America because for our economic for our economy. We need. I didn't write this right. We choose to side with America for our economy because the South China Sea, maintaining freedom for the South China Sea provides maritime trade through maritime trade. That's all I do my time.
Great job. This is hard. That's okay. The delegate for India, can I make, so I'm going to yield time back to myself.
Yeah.
Just to ask a clarifying question in regards to your position. You said that you would remain neutral in the South China Sea dispute, but you would also support America. So would you like to?
I'm siding with America.
Oh, you're siding with America. Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. All right. So there are 3 minutes left in the initial opening speakers position or opening speakers list. Would anybody like to be added? Okay. A motion to close the opening speakers list is made. Anybody second, please? Okay. Oh, New Zealand, did you want to speak? Okay, New Zealand, you are, so sorry, the motion has been tabled. So go ahead, New Zealand. You have to be bold, okay? All right. So go ahead, New Zealand, you are allowed to speak.
New Zealand, as an observer country, not only seconds United Kingdom's motion, but also is strongly bonded and has allies with Australia. And so I feel that United Kingdom's motion should be further stated.
Okay. All righty. Do you yield your time?
Yes.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Okay, so as we are at the end of the time, motion to close the opening speakers list has been made. Any second? Okay. All right, so the motion has been seconded, so the primary speakers list is now closed. Okay, we will head into a voting procedure. On your phones or on your computers, please go to this link over here. It says Polev/Patrick Rabul 121. Rabul. Okay, so please go ahead to this link on your computer or on your phones. Okay. And please answer the 2 questions. It will ask for your name. I would appreciate your first and last government name, please. Okay. No, you do not have to put your country. Just put your first and last government name, please.
Government?
Yeah, your government name, like as in what is.
Should I accept the first?
You know, like Catherine Casada. Okay, like that.
Catherine, as part of the Indonesia of this
All right, so please answer both questions.
Wait, sir.
Yes.
I missed the part we put our country's name.
No, you put your name. You put your name. I'm using this also as
It's one L with Rabulan, right?
Yes, just one Rabulan, one L.
Oh my God, you're so sick. Because you put space here.
Okay, we're waiting for 14 other delegations to log in their votes. We are waiting for 14 other delegations, or 12 delegations now. There are 23 stated delegations in the room.
If I have not saluted at least a repeat time at the end of this meeting, I will consider it.
Sir, I have a lot of video on your phone. There's good.
It's just me telling people, oh, like, just like,
And Mikey, you gotta close up on the United States. That's me.
Voting is still open. Voting is still open. We need 9 delegations to respond, please. Voting is still open. We need 9 delegations to respond. These, whatchamacallit, this is called a straw poll, by the way. A straw poll is a non-binding vote in the United Nations. This just gives everybody an idea as to where everybody is at as a body, okay? As a whole committee. Okay, we have 5 more delegations who need to respond, please. Voting is still open.
So it's fine.
Just don't say that out loud.
Okay. All right, 22 are completed. I am going to regard this as complete. Okay, so, all right, this is the vote regarding the first question. Does the 9-dash line constitute a rightful claim by the People's Republic of China to the South China Sea? So 9% of delegations in here voted yes. 73%, a majority of almost 3/4, says no. But with 18% of delegations in here abstaining. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Alrighty, you do not need to state your vote openly. Although normally in the UN General Assembly, there is a big board with everybody's name on it and it shows. Okay, so here, we're gonna keep it like this, alright? Alright, did we not do this one?
we did.
Oh, we did? Okay, well, I guess I'll figure that out. Alrighty, children, so, as we see here, okay, this is now Mr. Rabulan. I'm not committee chair at the moment. This is Mr. Rabulan. Now you see kind of where everybody stands. Now, just kind of like as a recap, we have people who do agree to the South China Sea or the 9-dash line as a legal standard. You can probably identify who that might be. We do have people who don't, okay? But there is also a proposal on the table to redrawing, not necessarily, well, the 9-dash line, but also redrawing the possibility of the islands in the area to be included within China's exclusive economic zone. Okay. However, there is a delegation here who would be opposed to that. Okay. And you can probably tell from the map who might be opposed to that. The Paracels are the islands in question. Obviously, the Spratlys are the bigger problem here, but the Paracels are definitely part of that as well. Okay. Alrighty. So what we're gonna do now that we've done this voting procedure, I am going to take liberties as the committee chair to move up the caucusing time away from the closing statements period. I am going to provide the delegates here a 10-minute unmoderated caucus time in order for you to discuss, especially since there is a resolution on the table regarding the South China Sea dispute. The 10 minutes for this unmoderated caucus time will begin now. Yes, you may get up.
I'm not gonna negotiate with them.
China is not interested in the so think about it. If the Philippines is so interested,
Okay, how about this? I don't want to negotiate because they're not there.
you're gonna like, they have only half a few islands for resources. We have no other choice. We have to this is international territory, right? What China is going to claim is in the green.
I understand that. This is the only part giving me.
You're only giving them some of the scraps, and the rest you can have to yourselves. So you still have resources left for yourself. However, it's a little less because we're contributing them to China, so they won't blow all of us.
Lower your voice. Your vote is
But if this is all they want, why are we giving them? We're not giving them. We're not.
Go Taiwan.
What they want is to take over the entire South China Sea, so they can have all the islands inside of it because they're not interested in water.
Why can't we have this idea?
It's not
Mexico? Not Mexico. On behalf of I'm saying on behalf of
delegates, voices.
Philippines is still going to keep the island. However, Vietnam is the one that's going to have the most trouble compromising because this is
I think they can touch.
Vietnam has claimed those islands since the 17th century. They posted on
The water's part we already figured out.
What do you want to do? Because we're not having an issue with the Philippines. The Philippines is pretty much.
Does everyone agree with this?
We already know that Vietnam does not agree with that. They're going to take all of it. China's going to.
Okay, return to order, please. All delegates must return to their seats. Okay. All right, children. So, what's going to happen is Mr. Baez is passing out a paper. This is for afterwards. We're passing it out now so that we don't forget about it later. Okay. Before we begin the second portion of debate, I would like to say, as Mr. Rabulan, I'm highly impressed with the level of research and with the level of diction that you guys have been able to speak. So this makes me very happy for the progress of this debate. Now, once again, returning back to my position as the committee chair, please be reminded that there are resolutions that are on the table. As it was stated to me, there are multiple resolutions or solutions to this conflict on the table. This was part of your brief, as in like you were asked to see if there were solutions. There's obviously a solution right now on the table with the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland leading. But we also have other options on the table as well. Remember that historically, the UN Security Council and the General Assembly have chosen in the past to levy sanctions economically against members who do not follow legal standards that they have adopted in the past. Okay? So if this body chooses to resolve or possibly make this an issue of discussion later, this can be something that can be pursued in the future. But sanctions is it's kind of getting to that serious point. Okay? Alrighty, so once again, we will follow the same format as before. We will assemble a speaker's list. I am keeping track here of those who have spoken, but if you have not spoken yet, please make sure that you do add your voice to the mix, okay? Alrighty, so countries who are willing to speak or engage in the debate, remember that this debate portion, you may directly address other delegations, but you have to do it through the chair, meaning that you're speaking to me, but you can reference other delegations. If you do, I can use my power to yield the rest of your time to that delegation that you have referenced in your statement. Okay, am I clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So I'll raise your placards if you would like to be added to the speakers list. Okay, go ahead. All right. So, all right, Niger. Okay, anybody else? Okay, Philippines. Okay. States. Okay, Vietnam. Okay, anybody else? Friends? Okay, once again, if during the debate you choose to add, like you may raise your placard at any time in order to begin. All right, and in China as well. Okay. All righty. So that is it for the beginning part. For this portion, for this portion, I am going to yield one time or 1 minute to each participant. Okay, and obviously you may yield that time to another delegation if you so decide. Okay, all right, United Kingdom, you may begin. Okay, you have 1 minute, begin.
Okay, so I'd like to, on my proposal, I'd like to reference Vietnam because they said they wanted claims on the islands, but I'd like to ask Vietnam to at least let go 3 of the ones specified here and allow China to attain these islands. I'd also like to remind Vietnam that its economic zone is being completely untouched. I yield my time.
So,
to Vietnam.
So the time has been yielded to Vietnam. Okay, Vietnam, you have the rest of this time to speak.
In those items that the United Kingdom wants to give to China, there's oil and gas, and Vietnam is not willing to give those items to them.
Alrighty. I would like to clarify for the body that is present here. There are no stated oil and gas reserves in the parasols at the moment. However, there is always a possibility of speculation. Just as a clarification for that. Okay. All right. So Vietnam has yielded. Next, Niger. Go ahead. You are recognized. Please stand.
The Republic of Niger. The Republic of Niger sees the United Kingdom's claim as unright. Although it is a great conversation, it does not benefit Vietnam's previously hard-fought land. And that land has been claimed by wars and many fights as its own development country. Right now that it's in the middle claim, they're giving, the United Kingdom is giving the proposition of taking away some of Vietnam's rightful rights, and I decline. I recommend another proposition of giving further high seas, further up of the South China Sea.
Okay. You yield your time? Okay, your time is yielded. Okay, thank you. All right, so next, the Philippines, you are recognized to speak.
So, China unrightly exercises sovereignty over international waters and commits a breach over the UNCLOS, and we're supposed to give them land. In Article 150, they state that the resources, taking resources from international waters would only be just if it's like, okay, it would only be just if like it was fair to the other countries. But then again, if you're giving more resources to China, then it would unbalance the economy. So I yield my time.
All right. So, okay, United States, you've been recognized to speak. Go ahead.
The United States would just like to quickly state that it believes that this proposal is the most likely to yield a diplomatic and peaceful resolve. It would also like to quickly state that I would also like to ask Vietnam once again on its position on the islands and straddles, because it is unclear.
Okay, the Spratly Islands.
Spratly.
All right, time has been yielded to Vietnam. Vietnam, you are allowed to respond.
What the United Kingdom and the United States are not saying is that they've already taken the parcels.
The parasols.
The parasols. And given them to China, leaving the Philippines and Vietnam with only the Spratly Islands. And Vietnam wants to take the United Kingdom wants to take my entire side of the Spratly Islands and give them to China, which would be, it would not be fair to Vietnam. Those islands have been claimed by us since the 17th century, so it's not theirs to give them to China.
Okay, time has been expired. All right, Vietnam, you are next on the speaker's list if you would like to take this time or if you would like to yield it to another place.
I'll yield my time.
Okay, is there a person? To France, okay. All right, so Vietnam will be yielding its time to France. All right, France, you may.
Good morning once again. So I do agree with the United Kingdom and the United States proposition. It is a great idea, it's diplomatic, it's peaceful. However, as long-standing trade partners with the Philippines, I do understand why they would be very hesitant as to sacrifice some of their islands. So I propose another solution, economic sanctions. Although it may be deteriorative on many economies worldwide because China is a very important economy and basically maker for many of our resources and they utilize them. Basically, we kind of have to just cut them, right, where it's gonna hurt. So I believe that by placing these economic sanctions, it will be worth the while as we are preventing and promoting peace. We are keeping the islands and we will be finding another peaceful solution.
All right, thank you very much. Time has been completed. All right, France, you are next on the speaker's list. Do you choose to pass or yield your time to another country?
Yield my time.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, Russia, you are now recognized on the speaker's list. Go ahead.
The Russian Federation believes that the dispute should be resolved peacefully and without the use of military power and force, following the provisions of the 1982 UNCLOS. Just like the United Kingdom, the United States, and France have stated a proposition about the islands, I believe that we should follow the proposition because it's the most peaceful and it's the most peaceful approach. That's it.
All right.
You'll go chair.
To the chair.
To the chair.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. All right, Ireland, you are recognized.
We stand with Vietnam and what they believe because we are looking for a peaceful resolution, and although the United States does believe that the proposition is a peaceful resolution, I don't believe that because it is taking land away from Vietnam and the land that they claim and the islands. So that's what I
Okay. Okay, do you yield it back to the chair?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, China, you are recognized to speak. Again, if you would like to be added to the speaker's list, you may raise your placards in order to do so.
The People's Republic of China proposes to resolve these international disputes peacefully by negotiating with states individually on a bilateral level rather than to negotiate with them as a group. Despite being part of UNCLOS, the Republic of China views its way of resolving the disputes through group discussions among representatives as inappropriate, and the Republic of China has opted out. Instead, China calls for the United States to work with them based on non-conflict and mutual respect. I use my time.
All right. Oh shoot, I'm so sorry. So New Zealand was next, and then Australia,
and then Mexico.
And then Mexico. Okay,
Is it
so
possible to speak
New Zealand, you are recognized to speak.
Is it possible to speak again?
Yes, it is possible to speak again. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, New Zealand. Your time.
Chair. We as the Voice of New Zealand would like to continue to second the motion of France in limiting the power of the 9-dash line for a peaceful resolution. I would like to yield my time to the United States of America.
Okay, so time is yielded out to the U.S. U.S., you may speak.
I would just like to quickly say that the islands that Vietnam is claiming to own are disputed islands, and that just as China has no claim over them, neither does Vietnam at this time. I yield my time to the chair.
Okay. All right. Okay, Australia. Okay, order. Okay, Australia, you are allowed to speak. Go ahead.
The Commonwealth of Australia agrees with the claims of the United States that they should give away the islands, and it may lead to resolutions in the future, and instead of having war over the islands. I yield my time to Australia. I mean America.
To the United States. Okay. All right. So United States, your time. So you are going to be yielded over. You may begin.
I would like to yield my time to the chair.
Okay. Thank you. Getting the politics of this. Good job. Okay. All right, Mexico, you may speak.
We agree with France's motion of creating economic sanctions in those islands because we feel as if Vietnam has rightfully won those islands with the wars that they have fought. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. All right, T. Estonia, go ahead.
Okay. Estonia respectfully kind of disagrees with the U.S.'s motion, even though they are our ally. I second France's motion to put economic sanctions, such as Mexico. I feel like Vietnam respectfully they have rule over the islands, considering they've had them since the 17th century, even though it's kind of like a historical thing at this point. Respectfully disagree with your motion. I yield the rest of my time to Kenya.
Okay, so time has been yielded away to Kenya. Okay, Kenya, you have the rest of this time to speak.
Okay, so the Republic of Kenya is neutral. I have no opinion. All I wanted to say, no. So I am cool with China and the United States, and we have so many contracts with both of the places, and I feel like if we choose one or the other side, it's going to cause problems. That's what we've done.
All right, thank you very much. All righty, so France, you may speak.
I'm grateful to the support of the two countries that have seconded my proposition. I would also, pardon me. So I would like to also add that although I am okay with the proposition that the United Kingdom and the United States have proposed, still offering those economic sanctions, I feel like if we really just affect the economy of China and we steer them towards a corner, we can really make an effect in their claims on the South China Sea, as they do want more resources, like Philippines said. If China gains more resources, it may unbalance the economy, which will be bad for France because of their participation in the South China Sea trades, and also for the countries that France participates those trades in. So, give my time to the chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, Niger, you are recognized to speak.
The Republic of Niger would likely want a position that would benefit both Vietnam and China. Well, the rule that China has right now, the 9-dash line, is unrightful. We believe that if we were to create a DMZ where all the countries that have claim over that land, we can create a new separate border for that will benefit both Vietnam, China, and the Philippines.
All righty, thank you very much. Okay, so Philippines, you are recognized.
I'd like to bring back the United States statement and like to say that the cultural significance rules over China's political need to want the part of the islands, and that the Philippines agrees with France's proposition.
Okay. With China's proposition, did you say?
France.
France's proposition, okay, regarding economic sanctions, is that correct? Okay. All righty, so thank you very much. All right, so would anybody else like to be added to the speaker's chair? If you have not spoken, please make sure you have added yourself to the speaker's list. Okay, so the United Kingdom has asked to be recognized, okay? And we have Norway. All right, so go ahead. Go ahead, UK.
I'd like to directly address Niger's claim, proposition of DMZ. I actually have one in my proposition. The thing about the DMZ will be included. I think it's necessary in order to avoid any conflict. But the DMZ doesn't resolve the disputed islands. I'd also like to address Vietnam. and also Mexico's claim. The paracels, I think we could negotiate like some of them and return some of them to Vietnam. The only ones that we'll try to get to China will be the ones here in the international waters, the ones here in the green zone. So I yield my time.
Okay. All right. So I will be giving an option to, or I will be adding officially Vietnam and Mexico and Niger back to the list because all three of those delegations have been referenced, and so we will move on. Norway has been asked to be recognized, so go ahead, Norway.
Well, Norway doesn't really get affected by whoever wins the South China Sea conflict. We will support America because we have treaties with them. We're part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. But regarding the island problem, I think it's a sacrifice made by Vietnam for the greater good because it would like prevent any conflict or future wars.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Vietnam, you may speak if you decide to.
I don't see the point in splitting up the parcels if you're going to split up the Spratlys. I think it would just be smarter to give the parcels to China and let the Philippines and Vietnam keep the Spratly Islands since they're rightfully ours. I yield my time.
Okay, all right. So I just want to step out of the simulation for a second. So there is a debate over right now a proposition to split the paracels or to give the paracels to China, whereas the Spratly Islands will be given to the Philippines and Vietnam. For those of you who may not remember from the scenario, the Chinese have been building air bases in the Spratly Islands. Okay, so this would redraw there would be a provision within UNCLOS in order to redraw the exclusive economic zone borders. Okay, so there's that. Okay, Mexico, you may speak.
Mexico seconds Vietnam's statement in saying that there is no point in splitting up the paracels, and there is very little paracels islands for Vietnam and the Philippines to get resources from. And we agree that the Spratlys are rightfully the Philippines and Vietnam's territory. And yeah, I need that.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, Niger, since you were recognized. Okay.
I would like to state that although splitting it might be an unrightful position of mine, I would like to state a new one. Well, the Spratly Islands are rightfully Vietnam and the Philippines. China, with its own economy, has its own absent can self-delivery develop its own economy by itself, while the Philippines and Vietnamese need these islands. So I would like to claim that these islands would be left alone, while China would claim seas further up of these islands.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have reached the end of this period of debate. And so we will be foregoing the closing statements as we're coming close to the end of the period. With that, we are going to engage in one more voting procedure just to see where everybody is in regards to things. Now, I will be adding some other questions to the survey, okay? And we will do something a little different, okay? So, we have two resolutions on the table at the moment, okay? So we have the resolution from the UK, okay? And I am naming it as the UK resolution since it is the delegation who spearheaded it. And so you are going to be voting yes, no, or abstain from pursuing this resolution for further debate. This would include all of the other side resolutions of splitting the paracels or discussing a redistribution of the island territories that are located in the South China Sea. Okay, that's all included. Now the other question that will be addressed as a result, if I can save this question. Okay, so another question is the resolution that has been proposed from France regarding economic sanctions. So this is in regards to China not following or not respecting the UNCLOS law that was originally stated in the, that they originally signed and has been signed by pretty much every single delegation in this room. Okay, so we're going to do something different. What's going to happen is that we will be doing a placard vote. Okay, a placard vote means that you can see who voted for what. Okay, so you will use your placard vote, your placards, to vote yes or no regarding each question. Okay, so again, yes, no, or abstain. So let's see where things. Yes, ma'am.
May you vote for 2 resolutions?
Yes, you may vote on 2 resolutions if you so desire. Okay, all right, so regarding question 1, does the 9-dash line constitute a rightful claim by the People's Republic of China to the South China Sea? All yes votes, please raise placards. If you vote yes, please raise your placards. All right. Yes or no? Oh. Okay. All right. Never mind. So take back your applause. Okay. All those who oppose, please raise your placards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. All right. All abstain. All abstentions. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Okay. So. The vote is 1 for yes, 17 no, 3 abstentions. Okay, next vote regarding number 2. Is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea the final legal standard for addressing conflicts of sovereignty in the region? All in favor, please raise placards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, 18. All opposed, please raise placards. All right, all abstain. Abstentions? 1. Okay. All right. So, all right. Now, we are not voting to do this. We are voting to discuss this further. So the resolution presented by the UK in regards to redrawing the EEZ lines to allow for the paracels to be given to China or to be split as opposed to the paracels. All those in favor of continuing this resolution for debate in the future meeting, please raise your placards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, 16 yeses. Okay, all opposed, please raise placards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Go Taiwan.
All right. Okay, go Taiwan. That's a statement. Okay, all abstain. Any abstentions? Philippines abstains. Okay. All right. Last resolution from France. This is regarding the levying of economic sanctions. Is this a topic worthy of debate in a future UN Security Council meeting? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19. By far the most popular resolution. No. All those opposed? Okay. China. All right. Okay, abstentions. Abstentions. Any abstain? Okay, no abstentions. Okay. All right, children. This concludes our UN simulation. Well done. Well done. Very good. Children, this is the second time that I have led this